Chris, obviously, you know the first question is going to be about Saturday. After everything you guys started, the start you had this season, that was a hell of a shock for everybody, probably you guys as well.
No, we were bitterly disappointed. Obviously, we didn't perform as planned out, but in this competition you can have days like that. So it's been tough on us, but we are really focusing on the Sharks. We played an extremely good game on the weekend.
You guys look just flat. I mean, I asked the same thing to Quit on Saturday. It just looked like there's no energy in the team.
Yeah, it's difficult to explain. We were a little bit flat, but that's no excuse. I think we learned some good lessons playing the New Zealand side, so we definitely need to adapt our mindset in our game against them. But we were a little bit flat, but that's no excuse.
And as you say, not making excuses, but do you think there was a bit of complacency maybe amongst the guys?
Well, I think complacency is probably your biggest challenge in any competition, so we will never know. But we obviously knew the Chiefs were in a desperate place, so we actually had a great training week last week, which is strange, especially on Wednesday. So maybe there was some complacency, but we need to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Chris, so you just mentioned a great training week. Obviously, you guys were coming off a bye. Is there any chance maybe that the guys were maybe overtrained in that week and then come match day?
So our trainings are all monitored scientifically. So obviously we know the yards and the meters we run and at what tempo. So that obviously didn't change from the weeks before. So I think it wasn't a case of overtrained. I think maybe like any team in the super competition, you struggle to get back into things after a week off, but our training was spot on, so I think that maybe it was the rest. I really don't know.
Chris, just on that this morning, you guys obviously went through the tape, and I'm sure you guys have had your review already. Has there been some honest talking in the team?
Yeah, so it's early days. Like I said, they say in the season you're going to have 3 thunderbolts, so that was our first one. So there was obviously a deep, honest chat from Porto after the game and this morning, and obviously, but we try to focus on the processes and the stuff we need to change to be effective. So it's no need to get down on each other. So obviously, we did it in a professional manner.
Chris, is there any? I mean, when you take 50 points, especially on your own home turf, is there? I mean, there must be a concern that the team took a bit of a confidence knock. And also going down to the Shark Tank now, playing there.
Yeah, I think whenever you play South African derby, you're up for it. So obviously we're very excited about going down. So in terms of losing confidence, I think, like I said, in this competition, it's and any day you can take 50 against any team, and you reach a point where almost like the dam wall breaks and you can't stop it. So that happens with the Stormers. They're not a bad side. That happens against us. So. But obviously, if there was any dent in our confidence, we need to restore that this coming week.
Is dit van spesifieke belang dat julle byvoorbeeld teen die Chiefs wat laaste op die Nieu-Seelandse lys gelê het, verloor het op julle tuisveld?
Sorry, herhaal net daai eerste.
Van spesifieke belang of van spesifieke mening dat julle juist teen die Chiefs hier verloor het? As 'n tuiswedstryd verloor.
Ek meen dat ons 'n tuiswedstryd verloor het. Ja, okay, ekskuus.
Teen die laaste ouens op die log in.
Kyk, die feit bestaan is maak as ek weer speel. Jy speel op die tuisveld en kyk die Chiefs, as jy mooi kyk, is dat hulle was op 'n baie desperate posisie. So ek dink hulle is die eerste keer gewees dat hulle 5 of 6 games in 'n ry sou verloor het. So ek dink hulle was weet miskien nie meer gewig gehad as ons. Ek dink hulle het baie goeie rugby gespeel. Ons het dit obviously toegelaat. Maar weet maak nie saak wie ons hier speel nie. Ons is baie trots op ons tuisveld en op ons skare. So soos ek sê, so ons was regtig teleurgesteld in die resultaat.
Jy het opvolg op daai en verwag jy nog 'n thunderbolt teen 'n Nieu-Seelandse span?
Nee. Hoe kan ons sê so spesifiek in Nieu-Seelandse span?
Nieu-Seelandse span verloor.
Dit kan nie enige span wees. So so ek dink ons het baie geleer uit hierdie wedstryd, so hopelik verwag as jy nog een.
Chris, would you fair to say that you brought you guys back down to earth?
Yeah, 100%. So if there was any complacency, I think this game sorted out so that we need to get back to zero like we talk. And Yeah, so that I think is any coach's biggest challenge is to get overconfident. And obviously we had a good run, and I think this maybe sorted out that you need to get back to surface, and then obviously make sure that we plan and do the hard yards again.
Chris, just looking forward to the Sharks game. Obviously, your specific role as a tech coach. Saturday, not much to take out of the game, probably just because you had very little go forward. But the Sharks, they seem quite a tough side to break down. Obviously, it has to start up front, but where do you see the sort of specific areas that you guys can take them on?
So if you look at Saturday's game, just go back to, I think we actually attacked very well because they've got a sliding defence, and we got to yards. The only problem is we didn't convert that, and we lost balls at critical moments. But if you look at all the opportunities we created, I think the nice thing for us is that somewhere that's going to click, and we're going to get obviously the points for that yards we created. Playing against the Sharks, they've got one of the best defensive systems, and all the teams that's played them has obviously experienced that. So our challenge will be that if you go to the Shark Tank, it's not ideal for rugby. It's very slippery, so we'll have to adapt accordingly and make sure that whenever we want to keep onto the ball, we do it properly and convert that into points.
So you would obviously rely on tactical kicking for a game like that?
Yeah. So any team that goes to the Shark Tank knows it's about tactical kicking, and it's very, very slippery. So even if you go into contact, the ball slips out. So you'll have to plan well and make sure that you execute that on the day.
In saying that, looking at the game of the weekend, your tactical kicking wasn't.
So
it's something you have to work on.
100%. So I think not only tactical kicking, I think all areas of the game went up to standard, and like I said, we played a New Zealand team that plays a different type of footy and different type of defensive system. So you need to adapt your kicking game and obviously your attacking game. And and so obviously I think we learned a lot of good lessons over the weekend.
Chris, I mean, obviously it's a competitive conference you're in at the moment, and that you guys were right at the top of that conference. You've almost fallen back now. Does that make I know it's a long run, it's a marathon, but
but
a bit of pride there?
the thing is, I know it looks from the outside like that, and there will always be pressure. But if you look, for instance, let's take the Stormers for example. I mean, the first game they were nowhere, and they were crucified by everyone out there, and they have obviously gathered themselves and got some 2 great wins. One against the Sharks in the Shark Tank, and was unfortunate not to get a win on the weekend. So for us, we realised that. So I think if we start focusing on the end result, obviously, I think we will lose focus of what we want to achieve here.
And then just looking at the Sharks, any key players that stand out for you? Dupree, Fassi,
Yeah, so they've got a lot of quality players. Obviously, we all know Robert and his brothers are all quality players. They've got Esterhazy in the midfield, and Pimpy. So obviously they've got Kuni and Akka, so they've got a great team. So it'll be a great challenge, and we're really looking forward to that.
In the match here, they brought on Esterhazy to kind of bash you in that channel. Do you expect something similar from them?
Well, that's his strength. So I believe that will be their game plan to get them some momentum and go forward. So anyone that plays against Esterhazy knows what to expect, but he's actually a very skillful player. He's got a good boot, left foot, and good hands. So I think he's becoming all in all a more all-round player, but we're prepared for that.
Chris, just on your own Springbok centre, Jesse Pure, how pleased have you been with his sort of performances this season? He really seems to be, leading from the front, developing as a leader in the back line there.
Yeah, so I'm extremely happy. So the thing about Jesse is he's actually very professional, well organised, and he knows what he wants. So what I like this season is he's put in a lot of work moving off the ball, and on all of our tries, he actually were assisting in a lot of them, and obviously scoring a few himself. So I'm very happy with him, and I think he's having a great season.